Hey gamers! If you like Metroidvania games, then you've come to the right place. Today, I'm going to show you some underrated Metroidvania games that you might want to play. Some of you might disagree with the ranking, but that's okay. All I know is that this game is a must-have for any Metroidvania fan. Alright then, without further ado, let's get started. Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet is a stunning 2D Metroidvania game where you pilot a delightful floating spaceship. Flying your little shadowy spaceship in this game is an absolute pleasure. The controls are super responsive, making your ship feel agile and powerful. The game is set in a strange, hostile world where everything is out to get you, but your little spaceship feels powerful and nimble as it zips around the screen. The enemies here aren't as tough as those in Hollow Knight, but they can still be quite challenging. Some bosses in particular can make you grit your teeth and mash the buttons. Even regular enemies can give your ship a hard time. HunterX codename T is a fun, challenging Metroidvania game that builds on the original with Souls-like elements. If you die, you lose all your karma but can recover it if you reach and destroy the floating karma crystal where you fell. In this sequel, you play as Teo, a demon hunter who sets out during the night of the purple moon to hunt demons and find his lost memories. The combat in this game, which is managing your attacks, stamina, and special skills while using items and abilities strategically. And since this is a Metroidvania game, you'll often check your map with the ZL button to find your way. Worldless is a unique that blends exploration and combat. Set in a chaotic galaxy, it's all about discovering new places and fighting to bring balance to a disrupted world. Worldless offers stunning visuals, an immersive soundtrack, and a deep sense of accomplishment. It's underrated Metroidvania games that you should not miss. Combat is a significant part of Worldless. You fight to absorb enemies and unlock new skills. Timing is everything. When combat flows, it feels amazing. You switch between light and dark to create powerful combos. However, the difficulty can be a barrier for some players, as there's no option to make it easier. Blaster Master 02 is a mix of 2D platforming and top-down action game follows up on Blaster Master 0. Most of your time in the game is spent inside G Sophia, which is fast and easy to control. You can also leave G Sophia and move around as Jason, which has its pros and cons. If you like Metroidvania, you won't be disappointed, though both games have a distinctly different feel. The first game has more of a classic platformer feel since it closely follows the original, which had the backtracking, skill gating, upgrades, and challenge of a Metroidvania. But in this game, the game has many boss fights, most of which are fun and challenging. The top-down bosses are the best, offering more creative fights. Ghost 1.0 is underrated Metroidvania game where you control a character named Ghost who can possess robots and shoot enemies. In this game, players control Ghost, a skilled infiltrator hired by two hackers to steal the source code of androids from the Nakamura Corporation. The plot unfolds in a cyberpunk setting, blending action with some interesting narrative twists. The core gameplay loop involves exploring randomly generated levels, battling enemies, and occasionally possessing robots to progress. While combat is engaging and challenging, the repetition can feel like a grind after a while. Super Mambo Quest is a fun game with cool stuff to do. It's not big on story, but it's all about the fun journey you go on. You play as Mambo, a cute purple monster who's the hero of the game. The gameplay revolves around collecting gold coins. You get coins by defeating enemies and completing objectives. This makes exploring rewarding. The boss battles and enemies provide challenges, but they're not too difficult. The gameplay is engaging, and the graphics and music add to the fun. Super Mambo Quest is a delightful experience for fans of action platformers or Metroidvanias. Ultros is an underrated gem in the world of Metroidvanias deserves more love. Ultros will surprise you with its captivating world, unique mechanics, and beautiful music. One standout mechanic is gardening, which plays a central role in both the story and gameplay. You plant seeds to unlock new areas and enhance your skills. Another interesting feature is the loop mechanic, which guides players to new areas without the punishing aspects of a roguelike game. Combat in Ultros is a mixed bag. It offers a variety of options through its skill tree and rewards combo moves, but it sometimes feels secondary to other aspects of the game. Afterimage is a Metroidvania game takes players through in Garden after the razing which destroyed much of the world. You will play as amnesiac heroine Renee, tries to recover her memories and fix the world. Despite the levels are overly large, leading to tedious backtracking and a sense of aimlessness. The skill tree also feels bloated, with too many passive upgrades that don't significantly impact gameplay. But the game has a wide variety of gear to discover and experiment with. And the combat mechanics are generally satisfying, with fluid controls and impactful hits, though the steep scaling of contact damage can lead to frustration, especially in later stages of the game. Cookie Cutter is a game where you play as a cyborg named Cherry on a mission to rescue her creator from the kidnappers. The game takes you through different places like alien landscapes and post-apocalyptic areas filled with intense action and violence. The combat in Cookie Cutter is the highlight, with Cherry unleashing a variety of attacks and abilities to take down enemies. The game feels smooth and satisfying as you fight your way through hordes of enemies, using combos and special moves to your advantage. Progression in Cookie Cutter is all about finding upgrades and new abilities for Cherry. However, managing her energy during battles can be a bit frustrating, as you might run out at crucial moments. Nine Years of Shadows is a new Metroidvania game that builds on the best parts of classic games. The story of the game is about Europa trying to save a world that has lost its colors. Instead of long explanations, the game shows you this through its visuals. Accompanying you on your journey is a Pinot, a ghostly companion who helps you in battles and puzzles. And the main feature of the game is elemental armor, which allows you to access new areas and move in different ways. The game's combat, while simple, offers a strategic element with enemy weaknesses tied to different armor types. Matching your armor to an enemy's outline deals extra damage and allows you to bypass shields. Tales of Kenzera Zhao is a captivating Metroidvania-style adventure that follows Zhao, who is struggling to accept his father's death. The story is very emotional and engaging, especially because of the great acting and music. Gameplay excels in both platforming and combat. Controlling Zhao feels tight and responsive, with satisfying abilities like gliding and dashing. The Metroidvania elements are straightforward, making progress easy for those focused on the main story. Combat revolves around swapping between two masks, each with unique abilities offering enjoyable encounters despite occasional repetition. Momodora Moonlit Farewell brings together the best parts of all the previous games in the series. In this game, you play as Momo, a warrior priestess who, along with her friend Cereza, investigating a demon problem in their area. The gameplay starts slow, with limited movement making you feel like a lost survivor. But as you progress, You unlock new abilities like dashing and double jumping, making you feel more powerful. You also find many items that make you stronger, like special cards and companion. The best parts are the boss fights. They're visually stunning and have exciting moments, like when you clash swords with a boss mid-fight. Aliens Infestation blends old-school gaming vibes with the thrill of the iconic movie franchise. You play as Marines fighting scary alien creatures from the Aliens movies. The game is like Metroid or Castlevania, where you explore areas, find keys, and unlock new paths. Combat is mostly about shooting aliens, which is fun at first. However, enemies respawn quickly when you leave a room, which can get annoying. Also, it's easy to predict where aliens will jump out after a while. The best part is the 19 playable characters. Each Marine looks and talks differently, making you care about them. If a Marine dies, it's permanent, adding to the tension to the gameplay. Fearmonium is a Metroidvania game where you play as a clown phobia trying to take over a boy's mind named Max. Like most Metroidvanias, Fearmonium has different areas full of enemies, traps, and challenges. The world reflects Max's thoughts and fears. As you play, you encounter other clown phobias that help you with special attacks. Fearmonium features fun and creative boss battles. Each boss represents a different phobia or defense mechanism. You also have a mallet and various sub-weapons like bottle rockets to fight enemies. However, you need to manage your stamina and cooldown times to use these attacks effectively. La-Mulana 2 is a challenging Metroidvania game in which you play as Lamisa, an archaeologist. Your mission is to find your missing father and solve a mystery involving monsters attacking locals. The game can be very difficult, with tricky traps and few checkpoints, so a single mistake can cost you a lot of progress. The puzzles are intricate and cryptic, requiring you to locate and piece together scattered clues. Despite the difficulty, the game manages to keep you hooked by giving just enough progress to keep you going. In comparison to the first game, La-Mulana 2 has better controls, a more engaging story, and better reward and upgrade pacing. And that's it for today. What do you think about this list? I know there are some underrated Metroidvania games out there that I haven't mentioned yet. So please share your favorite underrated Metroidvania games that you think deserve a spot here. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss another great list. And as always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.